Sometimes having no destination is what makes the best adventures. Hey guys, my name is AJ, this is Denise and Allie. Welcome to the adventure we call life.
Get along down the road, we got a long, long way to go. Scared to live, scared to die. We ain't perfect, but we try. Get along while we can. Always give love the upper hand. Paint a wall, learn to dance. Call your mom, buy a boat.
Now, this may not be the smartest thing, but it is starting to get kind of cold here up in the Ozarks, and they do have bears up here. And, I mean, just in case this goes wrong, at least it'll be documented. That might be the only viral video that I ever get. Hopefully this isn't some bear's home for the winter. It's pretty cool looking. Somewhere in the Ozarks in Arkansas. Yeah, I joke about a viral video, but this is freaking awesome. So they have made a campsite out of it. And it goes way up in there. Flippin' awesome. Campsite. What a view. Yeah, that's pretty cool. No bears, sorry, no viral videos today. However, to preserve this, because it is absolutely spotless, there is not a piece of trash one out here. Sorry guys, we're gonna keep it a secret. I'm just gonna say somewhere in Arkansas around Horsehead Lake. As close as we're gonna get to it. I hate to be that way, but you know, a lot of times if you share GPS coordinates, people will come and by droves and absolutely ruin it. You can drive right up to it. Pretty much, we're parked right there. Campsite right there. Very easily accessible. Well, we either go that way, because this way ain't happening. But there's actually a trail that goes up over this rock ledge, which you can't really see on video necessarily, but it actually goes up over that ledge, up and then around that way. But I think we're gonna go that way. You know, those smooth, you know, wide open overlanding trails that you take, you know, like with no debris, no rocks. No, that ain't us. We always take the road less traveled. I wish cameras could do justice to show elevation changes, because you are climbing steadily, more like this. It still goes way up there. Sometimes there's a little bit of debris in your way. So, had a little bit of a tree clearing episode there. Had to break out the old chainsaw. Our 38-degree morning has done gotten quite warm. So as we pretty much go deeper into absolutely nothing, that's what's really kind of super cool about the Ozarks. I mean, you are out here in the middle of absolutely nothing, and you will come across things just randomly. I mean, already this morning, you know, again, out in the middle of nowhere, we passed another stone wall. I'm just so intrigued by the history of those and why they were there, and, you know, who built them. These stone bluffs you come across out here are just super cool. The fall foliage is phenomenal too. Beautiful, lots of yellows and reds, a lot of oranges out here. Not oranges as in the fruit, guys. Oranges as in the leaves. Okay, so the trail has literally like disappeared on us. It shows us to be on it according to the track on the map, but I mean, we're following it exactly. But
I'm really curious if that guy has a game cam back there.
we did come across this, right? I thought it was just some trees, right? But when you get up to it, it's tied together with vine. So anyway, we were super careful. We went around it. We didn't want to disturb that. There's also a deer stand right here in the tree. So we know we're on some kind of access out here. Just a matter of where. But as you can see, there's no Jeep for me. That's because it's way back there. I've literally been walking this whole trail just to try to make sure. And watching the GPS track again on the map. And I mean, we are right on the line. So I'm going to keep on moving forward. I'm going to go back and get my Jeep, though, which is somewhere out here in the Ozarks. I don't really know where I parked it. I'll try to find it. Huh, there it is. But I don't remember how I got to it because there's a big gigantic ditch over there. Must have been this way. Okay. As you can see, there's just trees, so this is what I was walking to right there. But anyway, there's a big culvert. So keep on going. Well, that didn't work out. There's no more trail. There's too many trees laid across it. We're just gonna have to abandon it. Go back. We did find a split in the road here a while back that was actually taking us the wrong kind of direction, but that may be why it's there, because this is just impassable. It's just too many years. I mean, we could clear it all. That's not an issue. We have a chainsaw, but it would just take several hours. So we are going to just head back to where it wied off and carry on around that way. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them.
So, welcome to the historic Ozarks General Store. As you can see there, it says established 1890. Now, let's take a minute to elaborate on that for just a minute. Okay, so here goes. We're either going to clarify some dates or we're going to make it so complicated that we're not even going to know when the Ozarks General Store actually may have become an inception. Now, it claims to be established in 1890. However, through local community hand-me-down stories, folklore, generational discoveries, whatever you want to call it, it is actually said that the building was built well before 1890, as it actually housed the post office before it became the general store, or the general store and the post office were the same building. Who knows? Now, it's not uncommon for, the postmaster to be the general store owner, who's also the city manager, who served as the sheriff, was the mayor of the town, who was also the city clerk, that sat on the judge's bench, and, well, you get it, right? Who knows what the actual story really is? Now, one thing is for certain without a doubt. Local history and folklore says that yes, the building was probably built sometime before 1890, and that the fact that the Ozarks General Store most likely served as a post office in the early 20th century. However, both of these facts cannot actually be historically documented, and this has only been corroborated by very long-time Ozarks residents. Now, according to some local knowledge, the building was actually purchased by F.M. Nelson, and, well, he supposedly purchased it in 1889. Now, that can be documented, right, because of title transfer work, blah, 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 right? Now, again, back to the post office being here before the general store or after the general store, heck, I still don't know. But according to a longtime resident of Clarksville from multi-generations, a Miss Lottie Morgan, she very clearly stated that in 1903, her great-grandfather was, and without a doubt, the postmaster of the Ozarks post office, which was in the general store, again, which goes back to established in 1890, but there are still claims that it was a post office before it was the general store. So heck, we still don't know what the actual date is. One thing that is very clearly documented, without a doubt, factual proof, is the fact that the general store is not even mentioned in the deed until 1923. But again, the general consensus among locals is this was built prior to 1890. Actually, the saddest thing about the Ozarks General Store is the fact that it is ineligible to be listed on the National Registry of Historical Buildings and Locations, even though it was built, well, we don't know, mid-1800s, 1890, whatever, but the exterior of the building has undergone so many changes and remodels and rebuilds, so it becomes ineligible to be listed on the National Registry. Now, take a step through the front doors on the inside, everything changes. You are literally stepping back to the mid to late 1800s, early 1900s, as the interior of the building actually remains mostly intact and has all its original historical features, such as all the original wood flooring, as well as the ceiling coverings, and all of that is actually thought to be a link to the days of when Ozarks was actually settled. But since how the interior remains as rustic as ever, and the fact that it has been on the same location since, well, we know for 1890 for certain, we guess. But anyways, for these reasons, it was nominated to be included in the Arkansas Registry of Historical Buildings and Settlements since its establishment of 1890.
So, guess who's back, y'all?
Hey, what's up?
So, Josh, Providence, how does it feel not being responsible for carrying around the Rock of Gibraltar in your kidneys anymore?
It's amazing. Processor.
Yeah.
Zero out of 10. Do not recommend.
Do not recommend carrying around the Rock of Gibraltar in your kidneys.
That part really sucked, but the process of going in.
Yeah.
Then
So, right.
lasering it.
So explain to me the process of going in and pulling it out.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. That happened yesterday.
Yeah.
They had to go in and remove the stent. And we walk in, and the nurse is like, it won't take long at all. The doctor will come in here, and this is what's going to happen. The doctor walks in, the doctor goes 45 seconds, in and out, bing, bing. Like,
So
boom,
a Saturday
we're done.
afternoon, a few basic
Yeah,
hand tools.
No problem. He said you'll feel a little bit of pressure once we reach the sphincter. That's the muscle that you have to go past. And he goes, all you have to do is take a deep breath and wiggle your toes a little bit and slip on past, no biggie. And that was a lie.
How'd that work out for you?
I wiggled my toes and took a big deep breath, and I wiggled my toes some more, and it still hurt real bad. Real bad.
Yeah. So did you feel did you feel your eye twitch a little bit whenever he was like,
Pretty much. My hair hurt.
your hair hurt? Yeah.
And then they get up there to it. Now, probably she got to watch it on camera. She got to see the actual.
The silent no comment.
Yeah.
It's
And
like a claw machine. Everyone was anticipation of grabbing it, and then it wouldn't grab. And so we
So-
were all just like turning our heads.
so the doctor
watching it.
doctor said 45 seconds. And about 8 seconds in, he goes, uh-oh, not good. And then I, of course, don't want to ask questions. I'm not trying to figure
Well,
out
I mean, you're
what's
kind of in
going
a little
on.
bit of an awkward position anyway to be like, hey, whoa.
Exactly. And then they're like, we got to twist it. And I'm sitting here going, wait a minute, what are you going to
Twisted.
twist?
Is this
Like,
some
what
kind
are you-
of... Hey,
what
this
are you
is the
twisting?
PG show?
Yeah.
Twisting
And
it?
then the nurse was like, bop it, spin it. And then the doctor's like, I believe we need an extra pair of hands in here.
An extra pair of...
And I'm
Whoa,
like,
whoa,
okay,
whoa,
wait a
whoa.
minute. Like, I can't even get 2 hands on it. How are you guys going to get 6? But they had to keep twisting the thing so that the grabber could grab the stent. And then they finally grabbed it. And then instead of being like, hey, we grabbed it, and now we're going to remove the stent, they were like, hey. And then they just like...
Wait a minute, I thought you said on 3. That was 1.
Yeah, no warning.
Yeah.
No warning at all.
So...
That was fun.
Y'all may or may not know, but Josh had a horrendous kidney stone, almost 1 inch in his kidney, and they had trouble getting it out. But he got the stone out, but they went to take the stent out yesterday, and it was a little bit of an episode when they said 45 seconds in and out, and that turned into not 45 seconds. So, but he feels much more manly now. He had like 6 sets of hands on it trying to get the stent out. So
Makes you feel like a real man.
I personally was going to sell raffle tickets to see who could actually grab a hold of it and be able to yank it out, but they said no. So anyways, but I'm glad he's back. He's feeling much better. They disappeared for a while, obviously, but
Yeah, been gone for a while.
we're gonna get life back to normal. So
Much water, but there's some water. It's definitely not running anywhere.
everything is so dried up right now. Hard to believe parts of the country are inundated with flooding. And here we are, no water at all.
Can you grab the air down tool, please? Mm-hmm.
Well, that was fun, but we did have a spare, and I'm not on the 40s, like say I run the 37s now. While the 40s did fine, the stickies, on the highway, I don't really want to wear them down excessively driving around the highway, so I had swapped back to the 37s for this trip. So luckily the spare just matches everything still. So But, yeah, we won't even talk about it. Okay, anyways, on with the show. Well, good news is we made it 50 feet. Trees across the road. So we gotta find a way around it. Oh, this is a messy one too.
Okay, I already know where you're going with this, and I already know what you're going to say. But wait, guys, y'all got a chainsaw. Yes, we absolutely do, and we have already been cutting. But this tree was such a mangled mess, there was so much of it, it literally was going to take us hours to get cut through all of it, get it drug off to the side of the trail, just to go buy it, for merely a 3-minute diversion to simply drive around it.
Something like that.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Hopefully to have a lot of luck on our side, I've got to be really careful because what did we just put on the Jeep? Okay, let's go. Alright, back on the road. So, believe it or not, guys, these are mapped routes. I mean, we're following a file that, was downloaded. Liam, gotta watch out. Anyways, we are following a file that's downloaded that has, mapped this route before. But, a lot of these trails they haven't been traveled in years. So they just have a lot of overgrown growth and new forest coming in. Every time we take off on a trail like this, guys, I always have to think about Sean. If you watch the story till now, fantastic dude up in British Columbia. They are always going out and doing the trails that nobody does. Mapped trails, but they're just doing the trails that people have not done in decades. And so, anyways, I always have to think about Sean. So, hey, if you haven't checked out his channel, The Story Till Now, super dude. Amazing cinematography. Man, I could only dream of being as good of a cinematographer as he is. But anyways, Story Till Now, check him out. times like this is when it gets interesting, though. It's because we're out here in the absolute middle of nowhere. The trail that we're actually trying to track on right now is actually off to our right, which is kind of halfway between us and the bottom of that creek bed down there. But all of a sudden, we popped out onto a fresh dozered road here. Somebody is taking a bulldozer all the way down in here to where we came out of the creek. Anyway, interesting stuff. You, like I say, you never know what you're going to come across. It's rather fresh too, so we're going to go that way. Well, we found the dozer. And a road. Hey.
Okay, all of the following have something in common. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay guys, so if you answered, Alex, what are dried up water crossings? Congratulations, you win. Yes, every single one of those pictures you just saw previously was the most beautiful, drop dead gorgeous water crossings you have ever seen in your life. It is so dried up out here, it is unreal. It is amazing that some parts of the country right now are inundated with torrential flooding, while other parts of the country, such as the Ozarks, are dried up and dusty. Okay, so you may have caught a glimpse of the sign back there. We are actually making our way very deep down in here along this riverbed, headed towards Spanhour Falls. Now, as dry as it is, well, I'm pretty sure you guys know exactly what we're going to be seeing.
Okay, I've been dying of anticipation. I mean, you can hear the rushing water. I have been so excited to get to see Spanhour Falls for like a year now. Here it goes. Wait. What the?
It is cool to see the rocks.
You know,
How it cascades down.
my trail guide either lied to me or I need to get my money back, because this specifically said it was a trip to see Spanhour Falls. I don't see No, I mean, everywhere we've been, right, is just dry as a bone. I mean, there's no water anywhere. This would normally be a raging pool of water. So for all you YouTube video watchers out there that have seen Spanhour Falls, that's Spanhour Falls. There is nothing. Well, we answered one question though, Josh. How deep is the hole at the bottom of Spanhour Falls that you can never see? Wow. I'm going to say, how often do you get to do this though, for these falls? Wow. That's pretty cool. I mean, not cool that it's dry, but I mean, watch the videos, man. You know, I mean, normally this whole thing through here is just a river flowing. Nothing. I can tell you one thing though that is pretty freaking awesome. Just listen. thing. Sad thing is, it is really actually quite beautiful down here. And I mean, if the water was flowing, I can only imagine how pretty it really is. Because I mean, all of these are just falls and falls and falls. I will try to overlay some clips in here of what it normally looks like, just so you can see in comparison. So these would normally be falls also. Just silence. Still super pretty, even though there's no water, but
it was still an absolutely beautiful evening down here on what would have normally been the river here where Spanhour's Falls were. As you can see, it is just total pitch black darkness. And since there is no water running over the falls, I mean, you could really get a sense of just how quiet and remote you are out here. We could hear some animals running around out there in the woods. We never were worried about bear and everything like that. It is quite cold. As you can see, we did build a fire. It was about 38 degrees, and it was a peaceful night. Well, welcome to somewhere in the Ozarks. No, we know where we're at, obviously, but Spanhour Falls is that way. Back to the highway that way. Of course, there wasn't much of the falls as you saw. It's just a bunch of rock right now. Everything is so dry. But anyways, lost in the Ozarks again. It's absolutely fantastic. And we got a little bit of new technology to play with. Obviously, we have some wireless mics now, so that's pretty cool. We don't have to carry the phone around stuck in our face all the time. And hopefully get rid of a lot of that wind noise that we've always been dealing with. God, it's terrible. But anyways, welcome to the Ozarks again. Like I say, beautiful day again. A little bit of a breeze, about 38 degrees this morning again, but we've just pulled off here on just a little side road here coming out, take a little lunch break. Probably actually has some online work to do right quick, and we got good phone service right here. So I wanted to take the time to play with the microphones anyways, just to see how they work. So anyway, we're just going to take a little lunch break and get back on the road. So day number 3, lost in the Ozarks. So you know, we're always intrigued by the stone walls, and we were especially intrigued by this one with having a hole in it. But we found a picture of this later on in the trip, and come to find out it was not a wall at all. This was actually the original bridge crossing over the creek on the original road. This would pretty much be, I would have to say, the only water that we actually came across really on a water crossing, where this would normally be a river flowing across here. This is it. Completely still. It's really not flowing at all, maybe a little trickle, but here on the right side of the Jeep, it wasn't even flowing at all past those falls down there. So again, everything was just absolutely dried up completely.
Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, it is up here in the mountains. Way up here in the mountains. Oh my God, I found a bear. Look, I found a bear. Finally. All these times I've found a bear. Wow, that is so nice though. Well, we were going to try to find this point of interest. This point of interest here is labeled as Ozarks Springs. But the only road we can find is this one right here. And it actually has a gate with like a housing number on it. So, anyway, we come across that a lot out here. Like points of interest will be labeled on the maps. But then when you actually go to try to find them, the only access is like through like private property. So it's really kind of deceiving because, I mean, so on Gaia, I mean, there's a lot of points of interest always labeled, but it's labeled on the map as a POI. So, I mean, there has to be some way to get there somehow, but then when you come up to it, everything around it is like private property. So, just one of those things. But this off here to our lake, our right, this is actually Lake Ozone. So that is the U.S. Geological Survey point. You can actually look this number up on their site. It'll give you the grid coordinates of it. And that is technically dead center. And if you go 180 degrees up, it is exactly dead center of the fire tower. It's like a completely different perspective. I mean, I'm literally laying like directly on the U.S. Geological Survey point and looking straight up. It doesn't look that tall. I wish we could climb to the top of it.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
That's a lot of steps, though. Elevator, please. There's a little trail right here. Old.
You going on further or just here?
No, it goes. Oh, wow. There's a big, gigantic bluff right here. Holy crap. That first step would be a doozy, but my goodness, look at that out there. Let's do the old zoomy zoom zoom zoom. Look out there. And now we know why they put the fire tower right here. My God. Okay, so there's the fire tower. We just came down the little road here to the end, which is an overlook here on a big bluff, obviously. It's a campsite up here, actually. You can camp up here. And so if you get to walking around here, of course, this was all, you know, U.S. Forestry Service stuff eventually. But you'll come across, like, you can't see this one, but it's all paver stones. And then if you walk over here this way, you'll come across stuff that you really may not necessarily notice at first until you get to looking at it. So there's a big stone pad right there. And then if you walk over here a little bit more, here's another one. And of course there's a brick footer wall going all the way around. I'll show you more here in a minute. And then if you walk over here, again, really hard to see, but we'll walk around this side of it. This is another big foundation out there, and these are not brick. That is all like stone. They are not the same size. They're like hand hewn. Then there's this one over here. We have no idea what it might have been, but it's almost like drive-on ramps, and essentially, in a way, it goes down. I don't know. That right there is stairs that go down. And again, there's another escarpment wall right there. This is all up here on top of this this fire tower overlook. If we walk around over here, you'll notice those are steps going down. And then again, I took the hard route, but whatever. And there's another one right over here. This might have been an old building or something. I don't know. Those are steps. They're actually upside down laying on there. So like they were standing up this way. And again, these are just rocks. They're not brick. And the escarpment wall keeps on going all the way down and back out here towards the edge of the road. But everything that I'm standing on is actually stone. And it's covered in decades and maybe 100 plus years, I don't know, of growth. But it's actually all stone underneath me. Pretty wild stuff out here in the middle of the Ozarks that you will come across. No telling how long it's all been here. Super cool. It would be awesome to camp up here. I just had to stop and get a picture of this old log cabin. I mean, it is beautiful. This would be like the dream home, really. I mean, we just crossed out of the St. Francis Ozark National Forest, and it's literally right on the boundary line. So all this is National Forest through here. So anyway, super cool. Just had to get a picture of it right quick. no telling really probably how old that place is or how old this piece of machinery is. Ooh, had a bad fire. Whoops. And yet again, you may not be able to see it, but that is the rock wall right there in the middle of nowhere. We're actually going to drive right through it. And then it continues right here again. And you can see it just takes off out through the woods, just as far as you can see. It keeps on going. They're everywhere. So, I mean, I know I keep talking about the rock walls, guys. I'm sorry, but literally everywhere we go, we run into these rock walls. And so, was it an Arkansas thing for like boundary zones or something? I don't know. On with the show. So what under normal circumstances would be a pretty amazing water crossing. Yep, no water. Dry as a bone. So we have arrived at the
So this is the Spurgeon Warren cabin, and the Mount Pleasant School was off over to our right, I believe.
so what was once the site of the Mount Pleasant School, and this old cabin right here. We'll get out and take a look. So this is pretty flippin' cool. So you may not be able to see it right, but so I'm just going to outline it. The stone wall is going all the way down here, and then it goes down and it turns and it comes back, and then it's right through here, and it goes all the way out into the woods. It turns, comes all the way down, all the way to the back there. The stone wall is continuing. It runs all the way across the back of the property, way back down where I showed you where we crossed through the stone wall, turns, and then comes and then starts back up again here. Anyway, let's go take a look at the old cabin. The sign up here says, we'll show y'all, just so you know. It says, welcome to our place in the woods. Take nothing but pictures and leave nothing but footprints and spend nothing but time. So, let's go take a look. Whew, it's dark.
Yeah. Here you go. You got some guest book.
Oh, guest book.
Look how many other people were here today.
Just today?
Yeah. 10:18.
Holy crap. Yeah. Pause. We'll be right back. Elevator music playing in the background.
Like old
Newspapers or something?
magazine or some kind of paper. Huh. Like if you look, the entire ceiling was covered in it.
First aid kit. Yeah, look at that old stove, man. Holy cow.
There's so much. There's a whole other level.
That's a picture of the actual cabin.
This is a big dining room right here.
February 1987. before and then after when they were restoring it. Sawmill at Long Creek, 1907.
That is crazy.
Oh, there's where it says Warren and Spurgeon.
Yep.
And if we haven't seen
Holy cow. I mean, I could live here. It would not bother me, not a near bit.
Oh, look, you can send them cards and they'll put them.
Old stone fireplace.
Which is surprising.
There's a picture of the old cabin again. This is dated April 29th, 1992. It's 2-story too, by the way, y'all, and these stairs are extremely steep.
Hey, this is how horror movies are filmed.
Oh, wow.
Make sure I.
Okay, so it's just a split half and half up here, 2 bedrooms, one on each side. Very short doorways.
Perfect height for me, see?
Oh, see? Man, I knocked myself out coming through there. Anyway, just bedrooms. Again, nothing. I mean, it's functional. If you want the air conditioning on, you open the windows. You want to turn the heat on, you close the windows. Yeah, so this is head height for me. Oh, okay.
Orange shaft bed.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It's made out of corn shucks. It's a mop.
What is it?
It's a mop and it's made out of corn shucks.
Wow.
Like the bristle part is.
Modern day stuff there, y'all.
Just keep her right there. She.
And then another doorway that's... I mean, this one's modern. It's got carpet and everything in it.
Mm-hmm. And then this is also a corn shuck bed.
So okay.
Yeah.
The bedding, the mattress material is made out of corn shucks. Get out of here. People were so much more crafty back in the old days. Again, air conditioning, window open. If you want the heat on, close the windows. 2 flipping cool. I mean, there's still clothes here and everything. Look at these old door handles. This is freaking awesome. Look at that. Functional. Holy. This is, I mean, I could live like this, y'all. It wouldn't bother me not near a bit.
Oh,
These old hand-hewn logs.
I'm gonna go see the cellar.
You can see how steep the steps are here too.
Talking about
I don't think the rise and run meets code on these steps anymore.
Oh no.
Oh, if I can even squeeze through here. Hold on. Okay. Check it out. Doorknob. You just can't get no more functional. God, this reminds me of my grandma's house, actually. Oh, God, would I want to wake up to that every single morning?
Bailey, come here. Bailey, come here. Bailey.
It's another armadillo.
Is it really?
Yes.
She's gonna get hold of it.
Bailey, come on.
Bailey, come here.
She was like, I went after it, I got it.
Leave them dang armadillos alone. There's armadillos all over the place. And she done chased it underneath the house. Yeah. Yeah, that's the second one. Anyway, here's an old root cellar, which they've got closed up, obviously, but maybe we can catch a glimpse in there a little bit. I don't know. Can't really see much of nothing down in there. Yeah, it's pretty deep though. It goes way down in there. And the only thing it says, y'all, no camping on the property and don't make a fire. But other than that, they welcome you to walk around and take a look at the place. Anyways, water well.
What's that, Lassie? Timmy fell in a well.
I don't know if we can uncover it or not. I don't want it to fall. I'm not exactly sure how big the...
Oh, wow.
Okay, there we go. Water well, although it's
It definitely is filled in.
it's got silted up. Although it is very moist down there.
Yeah.
But it is silted up. But I would imagine if they gone in there, and I probably wouldn't take much nothing to clean that out, and I bet there'd be water down in there again. Yeah. Pretty cool. Cover it back up.
Now that she knows that they're...
So, old barn. All this is all stone. Wooden floor. Old barn's in great shape too. They did a lot of restoration on the property. There's a bunch of pictures in there and stuff. Saw the old fence post. The old license plates holding the floors together. Anyway. Pretty super freaking cool. That is so dang cool. Imagine the history this place has probably seen, being here since the 1800s. And again, other than our vehicles running over there, not a sound to be heard except just some birds and some insects. We'll look up a little bit more history, but if you're interested in looking it up yourself, it is the Warren Spurgeon Cabin in Nowhere, Arkansas. So thank you, sir. Appreciate you letting us visit your home. And we're going to get out of here now and let you go back to resting. Now, welcome to the Union Schoolhouse. Hear Bailey barking. All right, for all those teachers out there, check this out. This is freaking cool. Two-room schoolhouse, just split in the middle. Sit down and shut your mouth. No, wait a minute. That's not right. Be quiet. No, whatever. I don't know. I could never be a teacher. They don't allow duct tape and tasers in the classrooms. Look at the Devil's Knob fire lookout. Look at the building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see the building?
Nice.
So I'm wondering if that's what we were seeing the foundation stuff for.
Maybe.
Right? So this is the fire tower that we were at earlier today. Oh, Josh, here's something else you might find interesting.
To say.
Stacked rock bridge on Highway 123. See the hole in it?
Yep. That's just like what we saw.
Yeah, so that may have been the bridge that was actually across that creek at one time.
Yeah.
Right, and the road we're driving on is a modern day road.
Yep.
It says all country kids were just like family at the school. We didn't have any playground equipment for a long time, but we eventually did get a slide.
1944.
At recess, where did I see it? At recess, we played on the clay banks or in rural Taylor's pasture. Sometimes we sat underneath the hickory nut tree by the school eating the hickory nuts we cracked open with a big rock. After a student finished the 5th grade in 1948, the school only went to the 4th grade. He or she had to go to the Clarksville to town school, as we called it. That meant riding the bus all over Red Lake Mountain to get to school. There was only one bus for all the mountain children. There were approximately 30 students in the whole school. Inside the big room were the desk, the old-fashioned kind with the inkwell, and a place for books underneath the top. A big blackboard was across the front. There was a raised platform at the front for school plays. A bench at the front of the room was used for each class as it was in session. For instance, 1st grade reading or 2nd grade arithmetic or 3rd grade spelling or 4th grade geography. The rest of the school studied at their desk as other classes were in session. 2 other rooms were partitioned off to the side of the big room. One was called the cloak room, where all the coats were hung. Also, this room was used for anyone who would be disrupting the class. I figured that. The student would have to sit in there all alone. The other little room was the library. In the middle of the big room was a big pot-bellied stove. Coal was burned to heat the schoolroom. When a person would get too cold sitting at his or her desk, permission was given to go and stand by the stove a while so he or she could get warm. It's hard to imagine, but my brother was the one who would get the fire started every day. He was only 9 years old. I had a feeling that one of those side rooms was going to be for the bad kids.
What do you think about the swinging bridge right there?
Mount Levi Swinging Bridge. The swinging bridge across Little Piney Creek at Mount Levi was first built in this spot in the early 1930s and existed until 2015. Wow. Although it was rebuilt many times after being washed out by floods, some children walked this bridge to make their way to the Union Schoolhouse, and it later served a private residence across the creek when the creek was too high to drive across. Check that out. That was the way for the kids to get from one side of the creek to the other to go to school. That's the library. Back across to this side, where if you go right on down here, as I read on the billboard back there, this was the behavioral support room. Or the cloak room, as they called it, where they would hang all their stuff up. Now, there is an upstairs also.
It's empty from what I saw.
So,
No, he's got his super powered light.
let's go upstairs in the schoolhouse and see what's going on up here. Assuming was additional classrooms. There's a potbelly stove in here. Here's the platform. And then it just goes into an attic space. Can get some light in there for you?
I'm filling for you.
Oh. Oh, there's another platform type thing. Potbelly stove. I'm assuming this was another disciplinary room, maybe.
Hey, there's a light bulb.
Modern day. There is a light bulb. Ha! There we go. Heck, we're trying to live back in the early 1900s here.
It's the other corner over there.
I don't know what this is.
Right behind the stairs.
Oh, it just goes back around to the stairs. Now, I guess it was a way to get in.
Woo, sorry.
Woo! I thought I saw a ghost. Oh.
I'm pale, but I'm not that pale.
Woo! Scared me. Yeah, just to wrap around goes back into it. I'm assuming it was another classroom, or maybe, I don't know if like, well, no, it's got raised platforms. I think maybe it was a room maybe where the headmistress or headmister over the school maybe stayed. I don't know. It has a stove in it. But this is freaking awesome too, man. Old Union Schoolhouse, Nowhere, Arkansas. Not sure exactly where we're at. I bet I know somebody at home that would die to have these desks. Check that out. Huh. And I bet I know somebody at home.
Look up on the wall.
That would be like, sit down, shut up. Josh was always a bad kid from what I heard, so he would have spent his whole entire school career in that one room.
But is that your pulpit and you're about to preach some hellfire and brimstone?
Hold on, this is
There
out.
are two different things that could be going on here in this schoolhouse.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to celebrate this moment of life. That sounded pretty good. It's amazing the audio in this building.
If you look right behind you, AJ, you can see where it says something. Be healthy, maybe? I can't tell the rest of it.
Right here?
Yeah. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. So y'all remember this was the cabin that we visited earlier. All right, so it addresses the situation, Josh. Owned by Bud Pearson, built in the middle 1800s, located in the former Garber community. It is open to the public. Just sign on inside. That's the cabin. So, built in the mid 1800s. So, you know, who knows the exact year, obviously. Hold on, just a second. I'm gonna try. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Whew. No way. Not anymore, y'all. Yeah, they fold up. I bet I know somebody at home, a couple of folks that would love to have some of these desks like this.
Is Denise an old school educator?
An old school educator?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to call Denise an old school educator. Are you trying to say she's old?
Well, no, not that she's old, just that I could see her being like the school marm here and like wrapping kids over the knuckles.
She definitely, she's the meanest teacher, meanest principal you have ever met in your entire life. All right, y'all, that's going to conclude it for today. Class dismissed. No, get out. I'm tired of y'all little heathens being here today. Move it on. Lights out. That's pretty cool. Union School, 1929. As it was well after dark and late into the night before we ever left the Union Schoolhouse, we still had to make our way to our campsite for the night, which was going to be Pilot Knob, elevation 2,093 feet. Being well after 9 o'clock at night when we arrived, I had no idea that I had actually positioned the Jeep exactly east to west. This is what I woke up to, shining in the front windshield, on yet again another beautifully glorious day lost in the Ozarks. Good morning. We are on the top of Pilot Knob Mountain in Arkansas. Elevation's 2,093 feet. And this is our view this morning from the campsite. Can't get no better than that, can you? We are on the very tip top. So that was out the front of the Jeep. Let me go over here and show you what's out the side. See the moon still up at the very top of the frame. So we got the sun coming up over the front, and the moon is setting over the back. And that out there, nothing but God's country. And this is our campsite, guys. Absolutely amazing. Well, I guess I gotta say goodbye, awesome camp spot. Man, still amazed at this place. But let's continue. So, Pilot Knob, Arkansas, 2,093 feet. So I'm always trying to find these springs that are marked on the Gaia map, and this is Grimmett Springs, and we are in luck. We actually found it. So if you look right here where we're at on the map, a little blue triangle, there is Grimmett Springs. And there is actually a pipe and everything. Although it's not hooked up right now. And it is running a little slow. But there is, the water is actually flowing. It's a natural spring. They've got it housed in there, and they've got a little pump. And it's all wired up. So I mean, I guess they can pump it out. It's not hooked up anymore. Maybe it was at one time. But actually the water is flowing. It's coming right off underneath the house. I'm assuming coming from way up in here somewhere, trickling down. There's a pump house. And then it goes. It runs across the road. It's actually marked on both sides of the road right there, you'll see. And on the other side of the road, we couldn't get in there, but there's actually a little retention pond that this piping is all running into, and it's holding water. So I found it. I'm in luck. I found Grimmett Springs. That's pretty cool. Anyway, there's all over Gaia. You'll see those springs and stuff marked. And anyway, we turned around. We're going to continue on that way. P014. If you look on a Forestry Service map, we are on P014. That is about as flexed as you can get since the right side tire in the rear is not on the ground.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Split off too. You want me to inspect your roof hole up here? I'll take a nap.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously, I'm just able to lay across the top of your Jeep. Yeah.
So you can just make out the Jeep up there on the trail. But anyway, we come across, and this is the old bridge that used to go across the river. That's all that's left of it. And then you can see on down the river there, that's the new bridge that they built when this one got all washed out. But when you walk back up here through the trail and stuff, you can actually come across all the concrete, all the old pilings that are left over from the old bridge. And I say old like as in very old. Anyway, there would have been a footer. That would have been a footer right there. And then it would have continued off over that way. As you can see, trees are all grown up. So it's been a minute or two since this bridge was here. Anyway, pretty cool stuff that you always come across out here in the middle of nowhere. When traveling throughout the Ozarks, there are definitely a few must-stop see and locations along the way. Welcome to the local community of Raspberry, Arkansas. This location right here could be considered a jack of all trades, so to speak.
a well-known restaurant, bar, grill, saloon, dance hall, general store, just a general jack-of-all-trades location. But tragedy struck this local community of Raspberry, Arkansas approximately 1 year ago. I'm going to share a video that I took off of YouTube, giving credit to the owner right here. But anyways, welcome, Raspberry, Arkansas, Hillbilly Slims. So again, a huge thanks to Michelle there for documenting that on YouTube. But as you can see, there is no keeping these local communities down here in the Ozarks, and Hillbilly Slims is back. They are in the process of rebuilding. They have most of the building structure here done. They have made a lot of changes, obviously, on the inside, as it is now more of like just an open air kind of building, so to speak. They have a food truck trailer type thing in the back, and the food is still absolutely fantastic. The people here have great spirit among them, and they are definitely going to rebuild bigger and better, obviously. But anyways, we wanted to stop here and visit Hillbilly Slims to help contribute. Again, the food is fantastic, guys. So even the little bit that we could do just to stop here and buy lunch, I mean, it just helps the community. It helps the owners get the restaurant back up to what it used to be. And they have a lot of plans. I did talk to one of the workers here about it for a little while, and they're definitely coming back. So don't count Hillbilly Slims as being down. They are not. If you've been here before in the past, come on back, guys. They're still here, and they're working hard to make it back to its former glory. I was very impressed with the food. It was great. I thought the prices were very, very reasonable to be where it is located at. And anyways, welcome to Hillbilly Slims. Now, I definitely am planning on coming back here for sure, and I've definitely got to bring Allie here because as you can see, I mean, they have frog legs on the menu, and she is just absolutely a huge fan of frog legs. It happens to be one of her favorite things. Now, one thing that we have mentioned already a couple of times is traveling through the Ozarks here. This place, this area has been inhabited, right, for hundreds and hundreds of years. It was littered with communities throughout the mountains and the valleys, and sometimes these communities had no idea that, maybe across the other side of the mountain was another community, right? They were so isolated. But most of these communities have completely disappeared. So you will come across these cemeteries, this one in particular being the Birch Cemetery. And while it is listed online on the resources, most of these places have no records, and there's not much left of information about it. So this particular cemetery is littered with just place markers, just pieces of stone that were picked up out of the local creeks off the side of the mountains and simply placed on the ground to mark where there was a burial site. There are no markings on the stone, no dates, no wording, no initials, no names, no nothing. Literally just littered all over this particular cemetery was just these pieces of stone marking the placement of someone's loved one who has long been forgotten. So, this is our last evening here. We gotta go home tomorrow, unfortunately, but we're gonna head down in here along the river to the left of us here, which there's not any river, unfortunately, but we had marked the campsite. It's a beautiful camp spot. It's right on the side of the river where we're gonna stay, and like I say, there's not gonna be any river, but it's still a really nice camp spot, so we're gonna ease down in here to it. You can see it on the map there. It's just a pin drop. But it's so dry that, I mean, it's gonna be nothing but rock. But still, it's pretty down in here. So the last time we were here, most of what we're driving through right now was actually covered in water. Various different water holes, water crossings to get down in here to it. This would normally be the river to our left. In our previous Ozarks video, this was a beautiful water crossing that we did. It was deep. Maybe I can find that video clip and I'll add it in. Silence. So welcome to our beautiful riverfront campsite. But I'll tell you, look at these trees though. Beautiful reds and oranges, yellows, evergreens mixed in there, some light greens. Oh, well, you can't see it. Big old fishy. There's still some big old fishies in there. In our previous Ozarks videos, we pulled down in here and I actually walked down here to the river and there was some real pretty waterfalls. So again, just to show you before and after, let's walk down there to the really pretty waterfalls. This was all covered in water. I had to walk up here to get down here. There it is. The water was just coming through here, like really raging. Not raging, but really nice brook and stream in here, and it was crashing over these rocks on down in here. There was actually a bunch of trout. It's very, very cold water whenever it does flow through here.
Now this pool of water does go quite a ways on down in there, so wonder if there's any gold in them there hills. Anyways, that's it. Time to set up camp. There's something running around over here in the woods. You can hear it. Anyways, the trees are absolutely beautiful. Wait, I've been looking for wildlife this whole trip. I just found a bear.